Tasmanian Liberal MP Bridget Archer has confirmed she will cross the floor and vote against the government's controversial religious discrimination bill. Key points: Ms. Archer says even with changes she will not support the bill. Ms. Archer says even with changes she will not support the bill. A second Liberal MP has reserved his right to cross the floor on the legislation. A second Liberal MP has reserved his right to cross the floor on the legislation. Passing the law now relies on the government gaining support from the crossbench or Labor. After lengthy internal debate and 2 meetings today, MPs agreed to support the bill with a number of amendments. But even with the changes, Ms. Archer said she could not support the bill, as she believed it weakened protections afforded by Tasmanian anti-discrimination laws. Anyone around my age would remember a time when homosexuality was a crime, and would remember the laws that followed to protect Tasmanians was incredibly hard fought for, she said. Our laws are considered first-rate, however, ours still remain the strongest in Australia. I know and recognise my actions will upset some in the religious communities I represent, but I also take heart from the conversations I have had and the correspondence I've received, who do not want to see this bill passed due to the hurt and pain caused to others. Ms. Archer represents the marginal electorate of base. It would not be the first time she has crossed the floor. Last year, she broke away from the government and backed a motion by independent MP Helen Haines to bring about debate for a federal anti-corruption commission. The ABC understands another government MP, Trent Zimmerman, has also reserved his right to cross the floor on the legislation. A number of other members expressed serious reservations about the bill and their concerns that extra protections in the Sex Discrimination Act, which the government has promised in return for the support of moderate MPs, will not extend to transgender students. Ms. Archer's refusal to support the bill puts extra pressure on the government, which currently holds a slim majority in the House of Representatives. Without a vote, it will have to rely on support from the crossbench or Labor to get the bill passed. Creating the Religious Discrimination Act was a pledge taken by Scott Morrison to the last election, but has been a controversial piece of legislation and has gone through a number of versions before now. Labor has previously said it supports the principle of a Religious Discrimination Act, but would not comment on whether it would vote in favour of the bill until it saw the legislation in its final form. We've been to too many funerals, says Stephen Jones. Labor MP Stephen Jones says this bill should not be hurried. ABC News, Matt Roberts. Labor Shadow Assistant Treasurer Stephen Jones has given an emotional statement calling on the Parliament not to rush through the bill in its current form. Paying tribute to his nephew, Wally, who recently took his own life, Mr. Jones said the bill in its current form had not been designed thoughtfully nor consultatively. Last week, my family said farewell to my nephew, Wally. He was just 15 when he took his own life, he said. He was a beautiful, creative, courageous young man. He was gay, he was uncertain about his gender, but now he's gone and we're no longer going to be able to love and support him on his journey through life. During his speech, Mr. Jones also shared his admiration for his own gender non-conforming son and his worry that he may be attacked for his gender presentation. It's about all of our kids, about the families of those kids, every child who's had the courage to swim against the tide, just to be who they are, he said. What message do we want Parliament to send to these kids? What I'm saying to the Leader of the Opposition and the Prime Minister, if he'll listen, is let's take a step back, let's imagine a national story that talks to all of us. And let's not do something in the name of freedom of religion that does damage or harm to those of us who we love. We've been to too many funerals, let's get this done, but let's do it properly. Labor will be holding a caucus meeting tomorrow, after Shadow Cabinet, to decide its position on the bill.